It's been all ripped apart again. We had some major issues.
That's cop.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we are back on the 67 convertible. Last you guys saw, the clutch was knocked out of this thing. We were just test driving it. We didn't make it very far before the clutch started slipping. Let me show you the clutch we pulled out of this thing. Here's the flywheel. Then here is the pressure plate and the clutch disc. And look at the material. There's no material left on the clutch disc. I don't know if this was a used clutch that they put in this thing. This thing has standard bolts in it. These are standard bolts. So I don't know what's going on. This was a clutch that the gentleman had and he threw in there, but it's definitely not a new clutch when he built this car. And then this, all these spacers were behind this slave cylinder. So it had everything shoved really close to the fingers of the pressure plate. And that's why the clutch was a mile high off the floor. And as soon as you like breathed on the clutch pedal, the clutch would engage. So got everything aligned right. And now the clutch fully engaged is like this far off the floor. So we can fix that. And then bring the brake pedal down to match it. Get us tall guys a little bit of leg room. Now what we're gonna do is something I should have done originally with this thing. We're going to get rid of all the factory wiring, the factory ECU, which is down there. And I'm gonna put a Holley Terminator X system. I almost fell. I'm gonna put a Holley Terminator X system on this thing. I'm not good enough with HP tuners. I'm fighting with this thing. I've been messing with it for a week straight, and I'm ready to go with something that I'm comfortable with. I'm struggling with lean conditions. Even when I add a bunch of fuel, still got lean conditions. It still wants to die. I get it to run almost perfect, and then I wouldn't say it changes, but it doesn't run perfect everywhere. I'm not familiar enough with the HP tuner stuff. That's why when anybody calls me and asks me to tune it, I say no. It's because I don't have a week to try to figure it all out. Now, I don't know if I'm running into an issue where I have air coming in and disrupting my O2 sensor. See, there's a clamp right behind the sensor location. And if you got an exhaust leak, you're sucking in air, which is throwing off your O2 sensor. So I'm just gonna go with something that I'm comfortable with. That way I can make sure I don't have a problem anywhere else. And we just so happen to have all of the Holley stuff here for another car. All right, we don't have much light in here, but this car is something some of you guys may have seen in the background. This is what we call Johnny Cash. This is a 1966 Corvette, I believe. This frame under here is a aftermarket chassis that came on the red 65 that we're building as a race car. This is the frame that was underneath that red body. The reason why we call it Johnny Cash is, well, it's a 66. We ended up doing flush mount glass and a split window on it. It's got like 2010 01 flares on it. It's got like 2005 Corvette door handles, 2018 Corvette LT4, and then of course the 67 Corvette hood. So we call it Johnny Cash in reference of Johnny Cash's One Piece at a Time song. But the wiring harness we have for this car should go right on the 67 convertible. All right, so what we've got here is all these wires we won't use. I have a LS3 wiring harness in the other shop. We've got the power cable for the ECU. Those are for the injectors. We've got the O2 sensor, which we need because it's specific to the Terminator X. We can't use the drive-by-wire harness because it's got a different plug for the LT, which is what that Corvette has in it. So we got the computer and power harnesses, basically. I thought I had more than that. Might be missing the drive-by-wire harness, but I could probably locate one of those if we don't have one. We might even have one sitting around. So I'm gonna take all this stuff to the garage and get started working on that thing. All right, what a pain that was. But we have the factory wiring out. Took the valve covers off to get to all these plugs in here. Took the intake off to be able to drill a hole down here because this ECU that we're putting in is not watertight like the factory ECU was. So putting this Terminator X ECU inside the glove box, and then we'll run all the wires out of here into the engine bay and get this thing going on a aftermarket ECU. There were zip ties all through here, throughout there. I had to reach my hand in here to be able to unbolt all the factory stuff. That was, you can't see it. It's all apart. So now we have to chase down a couple wires, see which wire powers the fuel pump, because we need that for the ECU. And then we start laying in the new wiring harness and trying to get this thing going. All right, we got most of the wires in this thing ran. I did have to order a transmission harness. I didn't even realize they made harnesses for the TR6060s and Magnum T56s and stuff. So I ordered that, and we are running the Terminator X Max, so we can plug a transmission in, and then that will have reverse lockout, speedometer, and what's the other one? Reverse lockout, speedometer. Reverse lights. So that'll give us all that. Then we still have to hook all these wires up. These are mostly ignition and power wires. The brown ones, or the black one's ground. I believe this one's a speedometer output that goes to the Dakota Digital Dash. And then green is fuel pump, which all those wires are ran. Most of those wires have spots, but we got to find them over on that side of the car. And then everything in the engine bay is ran. I started hooking up a few wires. Crap, I forgot I got to order one of these. This oil pressure sensor does not have the same plug as this one, so I got to get a plug to be able to plug that in. But other than that, we've got everything ran. I've got to remove a couple of these because we are going drive-by-wire, so we don't need all of these, which is like this one, which is the IAC. And throttle position sensor, we don't need these two, so those will be going away. And then our fuel pressure sensor is way over here, so the plug is right there. So we got to depin that, bring it all the way around, go right there. So we're making huge progress on this thing. We just ran the drive-by-wire plug, so that'll go to the throttle body. It's 8,000 miles long, longer than the car. Let's hook that thing up once we put the intake back on, and then check this out. I already knew this because I talked to a few people about this car, but this thing has CNC ported cylinder heads on it. I believe they are Frankenstein stage 2s is what I've been told, if I remember right. All right, we have the Holly hooked up. I forgot I was doing a video, so I tried to start this thing already.
Well, the reason we won't start is we don't have this wiper
Oh,
on.
we don't have the wiper on, but all right, so we had a vacuum leak, fixed the vacuum leak.
Hopefully.
I think it should fire right up.
Leak.
I don't know where I left you guys off at with the 67 Corvette. It's been like a week and a half since I last filmed whatever last clip it was. I don't even remember. I took off for vacation with my wife. My grandparents and my parents ended up meeting us down there a few days later. I really don't remember where we last were on this thing. But as you can see, it's been all ripped apart again. We had some major issues. Finally, I think we're making progress on getting this thing figured out. As you can see, we got the Holley EFI on it, and come to find out, the reason we put Holley on it was because I was just struggling with the HP tuners. I'm not familiar enough to basically diagnose what the issue was. Put the Holley on it, within 10 minutes, I'm like, we've got an O2 sensor problem. So I'll show you up here first. As you can see, the exhaust is a totally different color because we've had the headers off of it, the entire exhaust off of it. We'll take it up and I'll show you. But this exhaust had so many leaks, and they were really tiny, like small leaks, and you couldn't see them because the exhaust is black, and like an exhaust leak will show up black. What I think happened was they picked these up with forklifts and moved them around at the salvage yard, and I think the forklift just broke the exhaust. I mean, it had a bunch of tiny little hairline cracks in it. I think that was throwing off the O2 sensor with the HP tuners, which is why I was struggling so bad with it. It would want to run, and then I'd make a change, and then it wouldn't run, and then it'd tell me it's lean, and I was just chasing it. I was struggling. Anyways, I'll show you the clip that my dad sent me while we were on vacation.
What happened to our smoke machine? Leak. 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 And all these are just leaking, but that has nothing to do with the O2 sensors. But I think the ones up front might have.
As you can see, there were a ton of leaks in the exhaust. So, Ryan, you take it up. I'll show you everything that we did to it, and yeah, I think we're finally onto something now. Oh, and the reason the dash is all apart is because we put Dakota Digital BIM stuff in it so that we can just hook up the Holly to the gauges. So now we have speedometer and everything. All right, so underneath you can see right in here where we've done all of our repairs. We should have just built a whole new exhaust for this thing, honestly. But we coated the headers a different color. That's close to the color that they were. And I moved the O2 sensor to this side because this side still leaks. The flange on the exhaust right here is oblong and it won't seal up. This side still leaks, and this is where my O2 sensor was. You can see I've got a dummy sensor in there right now, and then you can see I welded that one up. Greg welded this exhaust all up and tried to get rid of all the exhaust leaks. This side is not leaking that bad, which is why we put the O2 sensor on this side to try to get a good reading. So now that we've got all that figured out, now that it runs and idles without having to hit the throttle or change anything, I think we can go back on the dyno and get this thing tuned up. All right, guys, we are back with the 67 convertible on the dyno. You guys are probably tired of seeing this thing on the dyno, but got everything fixed now. I got oil all over that header yesterday, so that's gonna smoke for a while, but got a good clutch, new ECU, O2 sensor that actually reads what's going on, less exhaust leaks than we had, which I don't know. The whole exhaust is just gonna have to be redone to fix all the exhaust leaks, but I believe everything on the driver's side does not leak, and that's where I put the O2 sensor, so that should give us a good starting point. I'll probably just turn the closed loop stuff off at idle, just in case it does leak a little bit. It doesn't go throwing this thing all out of whack like it was doing once I get the tune up fairly close. But she's running right now. She is fairly good so far, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug the Holly into it. We've still got a huge mess in this thing from rewiring it, but as you can see, we got the Holly all mounted there. The gauges don't work yet. We just got to plug those in. Can't have the computer plugged in and the gauges at the same time. Yeah, gonna get this thing rolling, get a little heat in it, and make some easy pulls at first.
Yeah, upper hose is warm. Bottom hose is warm too.
It should be 200 degrees warm.
And top
I got 280 or 230 in the pull.
top feels hotter than the bottom.
Because the thermostat was stuck in it.
And 200 degrees, you shouldn't really be able to put your hand on it and hold it very long.
No, it got to 236 in the pull.
The top hose is pretty
So
hot.
236.
The bottom hose has that sheathing on it, but it's still pretty warm too.
All right, if you remember last time we had this thing on the dyno, it had a stuck thermostat. I honestly forgot about it. But it's got coolant puked out on the ground, and you got up to 235 on that pole. So thermostat's stuck again because the radiator is only like 170. All right, I'm gonna get yelled at in the comments for jumping around, but while we're waiting on this to cool off so that we can get the thermostat out of it, we're gonna finish pulling the motor on this 65. Oh, I'm on the cherry picker. You guys watch us pull this car out of I don't know if it was a barn or a garage. Anyways, this motor is locked up and needs rebuilt. Original motor to the car, original paint, original transmission. Oh yeah. Hey, don't scratch it. Oh.
Yeah.
Give me some more room. Okay. All right. You get.
Hold on, let me get a car. About to lift the car up, John. There she is. You got that piece of wood out? The sandbag out of there? Yeah, I got the sandbag.
Keep jacking. Keep jacking down. Okay, so we're gonna go right now. Hold you gonna pick up, turn back or what? No scratches over there.
Take the car back.
Oh, that dry shaft.
Oh, yeah. Cold. Alright, let her down before she falls.
Yeah.
Alright, I did not film this because we had a customer here. But Ryan cut the thermostat apart. They heated it up with the torch and couldn't get it to open. So we just cut the insides out of it because we still need the actual thermostat itself because it's got a seal on it that seals up the thermostat housing. So it is back in there, but with a big old hole in the middle of it. And we are now putting this thing back together. Well, we are not, Ryan is. And hopefully be able to make some pulls without it overheating.
Not bad.
Should have picked up more than what did it pick up? 4 horsepower?
Yeah.
I put 3 degrees of timing in it. Alright, so the reason we lost a decent amount, well, we didn't lose, we didn't gain as much is because that last pull was 120 degree intake temps. You see right there, 118. Then it goes to 1. I'll quit trying to connect. Anyways, pull before that, pull number 3 was like 98. So 20 degree hotter intake temps on a naturally aspirated engine. It's going to make less power. So we're going to cool it down, leave the 26 degrees in it, and see what it makes. Not bad. Don't let it heat soak. You can pick up 9 horsepower.
Yeah.
We'll probably just leave it there. Within 10 horsepower, what it made with HP tuners. And to tell you the honest truth, I don't even know how good the tune was in HP tuners. So, feel comfortable with this. 26 degrees, the timing. I think we're almost 28 on HP tuners. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Probably work a little bit on drivability tuning, and then fix this mess we got in here, and then probably take it for a drive.
And that mess in there is my doing for the most part.
About time to get something.
Hey, I wanted to put it back together, but you put it on the dyno first.
I forgot, we do have the side pipes. Last time when we tried the side pipes, one opened and one closed. We had them messed up. So, the coolest thing down again, leave it at 26 degrees of timing, and we are going to open the side pipes and see what that does.
Not bad.
Almost 10 horsepower.
Yeah.
So when we dynoed it with HP tuners last video, this side pipe was closed the whole time, even when we opened it, because it was getting hung up, and that one was open while we were dynoing. So we're within 10 horsepower of, I think it made 527, I don't remember. But we're within 10 horsepower of what it made with HP tuners, and it's not lean. We have a little bit less timing in it, so I'm good with it. And now it runs, and I can work on it instead of not knowing what the heck I'm doing. So
Yep.
actually very happy with that, 517. And then these side pipes aren't original side pipes. These are like what we do on our race cars. So it's got 2 different style mufflers, 2.5 inch, to where actually this goes 3 inch into the muffler, and then it's 2.5, I think. No, it goes 3 inch into the cutout, then 2.5. But the exhaust on the car, the full exhaust, is also 2.5. So, yeah, 517 naturally aspirated LS. Should be fun. Now we got to get to not wheel hop, which I think I fixed that, and it'll be a fun car. So right here is the 526.4 that it made with HP tuners, 517.2 with the Holly. And like I said, I had more timing. I don't remember. I think I had 28 degrees in it, and it was leaner than it is now. Now we're at 12.5 air fuel, which is honestly is fat. And in our race cars, if we were at 12.5 air fuel and we were at the track and the air was really good, we would probably jet the thing, get it to like 12.9, 13.0. But there's no sense with this thing. I'd rather this thing be fat, safe, not a lot of timing, so we can beat the crap out of it and not work on it like we have for the last 2 months. Temperature and oil pressure aren't working.
What?
Bolts in the steering wheel be good enough?
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. We're not going to hot rod it.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, I think I spoke too soon.
You probably ought to stop putting some fuel in it.
Whoa, jeez. I don't know what you were doing.
That's squirrel in the road. I don't know if it's the gauge not working or if it's actually low on fuel.
Are any gauges working? No. tack knot.
The fuel ought to be correct though.
Yeah. I forgot power windows. That'll take your freaking hand off. Look at those things. It feels pretty good.
Still wheel hops a little bit. So the shocks had like 0 settings in them. So they were as loose as can be. So I tightened them up, but I can only tighten up the extension. I gotta take the shock off and tighten up the compression.
We need to flip one of the shocks around too.
I already did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Well, you don't want it for a flood car.
Exactly. The flood caused that.
Yeah, the flood. Everybody told me I was gonna have wiring issues. I didn't realize they meant my ECU was gonna have to be replaced, and
Yeah.
my clutch, that must have been a wiring issue.
Well, it looks like we've got wiring problems. All the crap we got laying around.
Doesn't like it.
No worky?
Cruise control, no working.
Caused by the flood.
Probably a flood, yeah.
Is your door shut?
Now it is. Thinking flood cars. Oh yeah, and I don't have my mic on today because everybody told me I should try a mic because I was hard to hear. So I used a mic and the audio was the worst thing in the world. And then everybody told me I quit using a mic.
Wow.
Didn't fix the
Holy
wheel hop.
crap.
Did not fix the wheel hop.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Detroit Speed told me they've never had a wheel hop issue, so of course leave it to me to have issues, but we gotta figure that out.
Oh my gosh, look at this road.
That ain't no fun. Put a stock rear end back in it if it don't quit wheel hopping.
Yeah. Well, there's like 3 holes on that lower 4-link bar.
Yeah.
I wonder if changing that'll change anything.
So all I could get was to the extension of the shock though. If it's got no compression in it, it's gonna compress the shock and just feel like a wet noodle. Quite a wheel hops, I'd launch it on the road. Cops already preoccupied.
Yep.
Think he's still busy?
Probably. Oh. That's cop.
There goes another one. Oh, it stayed on because it's silicone on. For anybody asking about these wheels, these things are the biggest piles of junk ever. Oh, you found it!
It's hurt.
How bad is it?
I mean, it's not horrible.
This is the second time it's fallen off.
that same corner?
Yeah.
Oof.
I didn't even put the rear ones on because I didn't want to be responsible for them falling off.
I'm gonna yank this off.
Yeah, that's just silicone done.
What the heck? A better way to lock them on.
Yeah, they don't even lock on. They're not even reverse thread. Like, they'll just spin themselves off if they're on the wrong side. Kind of stupid. But all right, continue on. See how well she handles.
Sure. lost the center cap.
It actually handles really well.
Not bad.
It would have taken that a lot faster. Well, another video on this thing, and another video where we're going to end it off having to do something else to it. Got to get with Detroit Speed and see what's going on with the rear suspension on this thing. It should not be wheel hopping that bad. I mean, it is some of the worst wheel hopping I've ever felt. Pretty happy with the Holly on it. Happy with how it turned out. Happy with how it runs. I still got to do some drivability tuning. As you guys saw, when you go to let out the clutch, it wants to buck. And still got to do a little tuning there. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 50,000 subscribers, at least trying. Slowly getting there. We're almost to 30,000. Better videos should be coming soon. It's becoming to be a lot nicer outside. No snow hopefully anymore, so we start doing stuff outside, start driving vehicles, stuff like that. Head to hpdepot.com, get yourself some merch. We got t-shirts, we've got hats, we've got keychains, we've got stickers, all sorts of stuff on there. That's hpdepot.com. But that's gonna wrap up this video, so thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.